Hey guys, Playtendoguy here and happy 2017. Today I'm going to bring you my first review of 2017, Watch Dogs 2. I hope you enjoy it. First off the bat, I'd like to say I'm one of the few people who actually enjoyed the original Watch Dogs. Yes, the protagonist was as dull as dishwater and the game wasn't as ambitious as the reveal trailer led us to believe. Anyway, whatever your opinion of the game, it sold very well and just over 2 years later, here is the sequel. I'm also happy to say the improvements come thick and fast. With the sequel, the game switches location from Chicago to a sunny San Francisco and kicks out old damp squid Aiden Pierce for Marcus Holloway, a young hacker who's a massive improvement. He's likeable, funny and nowhere as cringy as I expected him to be. Also surprising is the support and cast of characters. When the game first revealed and the game was showed this new hip-like vibe, I thought the characters would be annoying, but pleasantly all the characters are very likeable and a massive improvement over the original cast. You have Sintara, who's the leader of the group, and Wrench, who's the guy with the funny emoji mask on his face. The reason why he wears the mask is always a mystery. There's also a fair few more memorable characters that pop up throughout the whole game, and a few from the original game. Gameplay now, and if you played the original Watch Dogs, then you'll be right at home here with the sequel. As you go through the 20+ hour adventure, you'll be taking up many a fun task to reach the game's conclusion. One of the highlights of the game has to be the mission where you have to break into the set of the new Knight Rider movie and nick the special talking car for your own cause. Thankfully, the mission isn't a one-off, but there's plenty of unique and fun missions in the game, and it's a big improvement over the original, frankly boring levels. How you tackle each level is entirely up to you. There's a fair few ways on how to tackle each mission. You could go in all guns blazing, shooting down anyone who gets in your way. You could go in all quietly, dropping off enemies via stealth attack, but the best way to tackle enemies is to use your magical phone of wonders to hack, distract and kill enemies from afar. If you do get caught in a firefight, thankfully there's plenty of guns to choose from. Instead of buying guns from a shop, you make guns with the help from a 3D printer. Shooting handles very much the same as it did in the original, which means the shooting isn't the game's strongest point, but thankfully hacking is where the fun is really at. And thankfully, hacking has seen a big overhaul from the original. It's the biggest and best weapon at your disposal. There's plenty of different things in the world to hack. You could say nearly everything in the game is hackable. From cars to robots to even calling the police on random strangers. There's always something to hack, and it's the best way to play the game, period. There are also 2 new toys to play with as you go through the game. You have your drone, which can fly and rain hacking justice from above, and a little mini car thing that can fit through small vents to enter locked buildings. Both of these are fun new additions to the game and well worth trying out. The city of San Francisco is beautiful and probably one of the best open worlds Ubisoft has made, and thankfully travelling around the city is much improved. Driving in the original was a pain in the backside to say the least. Instead of driving a car, it felt like you were driving a Dodgem. Thankfully driving here is vastly improved. It feels much more accurate and less like you're driving on ice. Going around on foot is also improved. While the game isn't as slick and fast as Assassin's Creed, it's still easy to pick up and play. The game's online mode has been talked about a fair bit, mainly because when the game launched, the multiplayer was disconnected because it suffered from crashes, slowdowns and various other issues. Thankfully, the multiplayer works now brilliantly with no issues at all. There are plenty of different things to do in the multiplayer. You can go around the whole game world with another player and join some free roam. You can also tackle multiplayer only missions, or even enter another player's game and hack them. Whatever you play in multiplayer, it will provide plenty of enjoyment. Sound and music wise now, the voice acting of the cast are actually pretty well done. Mark is the leading character and Wrench is certainly the highlight. The game also has a licensed soundtrack and thankfully is an improvement over the original with around 100 songs this time rather than the 40 odd from the original. These songs range from different genres. This is a nice mix of music here, but there aren't many memorable tunes and it certainly pales in comparison to the soundtrack of the recent Mafia 3. Overall, the licensed soundtrack is okay, but I'd rather just use my music on Spotify than anything else. Graphics now, and if you remember the original game, its reveal trailer made it look phenomenal. But infamously, the final product was a victim of a pretty bad graphical downgrade. And whilst Watch Dogs 2 isn't still as good as that reveal trailer all those years ago, it doesn't mean the game isn't a looker, because you know what? It is. The sunny San Francisco area is bursting full of life, whether you go through the city area or venture through Noodle, the game's take on Google, or even the stunning beach areas. The game looks brilliant and proves Ubisoft can make a good looking game if they try. Conclusion time now, and I'll give Watch Dogs 2 an 8.5 out of 10 with a title of great. Making up for all its original's misstep, Watch Dogs 2 is a light-hearted, enjoyable game that takes itself far less seriously, and it's all the better for it. With plenty of things to do in the game, much improved hacking abilities, and a really fun multiplayer. Don't let it be a Ubisoft game put you off, as it's probably the best game the French publisher has released for quite some time. Watch Dogs 2 is well worth a buy.